Hey crafty friends, this is Nye here. So today what we are going to do is we are going to assemble our cute little 3D fish box. Now I'm going to be using my art glitter glue for all of my gluing here. I also have my tweezers handy. You're definitely going to want to have tweezers today. And as you can see, I have all of my pieces here cut out, and I've already gone ahead and I've kind of stacked together the order for gluing for the top part of the box, okay? Now, what we are going to do is when you have them all kind of laid out here, you want to go ahead and you want to look for the pieces that have your little score marker on there. So this fish body here has a little circle, and then two of the side pieces will also have a little circle here. And these markers mean that these three pieces are going to go together, okay? So what we're going to do though first is we're just going to make sure that we've identified these, and then we're going to put them off to the side, and we're going to work on these last, okay? Now, what you're left with now are two side pieces that have score lines, but they do not have any markers. Then we've got a kind of the same color here for our fish, and then a black fish body underneath, okay? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to first start working on the smaller pieces. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tweezers, and I'm going to pick up the pieces here for the mouth, and I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to add a little bit here at the back. And you're probably wondering, why are we going to start with these pieces first? Well, we're starting with these pieces first because they're so tiny. We don't want to lose them here on our table, okay? So what I'm going to do is I have the red piece here for the mouth, and then I've got this black piece here, which is going to be kind of like the open mouth, and I'm just going to line them up by pressing them down together, and then I'm going to shift it into the right position before it dries. And so you can see it right there. It's there perfectly together. Then I'm going to add a little bit more glue here to the back of this piece. And I'm running out of glue in my bottle. And then I'm going to press it down kind of right here on the fish body mouth. And I'm also going to grab my paper towel and just wipe the top of my glue here. Okay, then the next pieces that we're going to work on are the eyes. And if you find it easier, what you can do is you can go ahead and you can use a push pin, which is kind of what I have here. This is what I use to clog my glue. And you can use a push pin here to just kind of help move things along or help you get things into the right orientation. So you can see I added a little dab of glue to the back of the black part of the eye, and then I'm holding down the white and I'm just pressing this black piece down right on top. I'm going to do the same thing here now with the other side. I'm just grabbing that there. And so the circle here is at the bottom, so I want to make sure that I keep that circle at the bottom. And again, I'm just adding a little bit of glue here to the back, and then I'm going to press it down right there on top of the white. And then I'm going to grab both the black and the white that are now glued together, adding glue to the back of this piece. And then once more, just pressing it down right there onto the body of the fish there. I'm going to do the same thing now for the other side, and lost my glue there, and then pressing it down. And again, when you go to press these down, you do want to make sure that the orientation is going the same way. You don't want one eye going up one way, one eye going the other way, because then your fish might be a little wonky, and you know what? It might actually look cute that way. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and now start to assemble our box. So we've got our small pieces glued, the face there, and that's perfect. We're going to take the top part of the fish body and we're just going to put that off again to the side once more. Now we're left with this black piece of the body, or this black fish body here. And then we've got the two kind of orange pieces here. Yours could be a different color. They could be like yellow or whatever you decided. And what we're going to do is, before we even start assembling the box part, we're going to glue these fin pieces down. Okay, so we have this part here of the fish body, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab the top part of the fin, and we're just going to glue this down onto the back side here of the fish. Now, there are no lines for how to glue it down. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of eyeball it. So you can make the fin go down as close as you want, or you could make it go as high as you want. Okay, so you can see like that one's going up really high, or you could bring it down and make it go as close as you want. This is a personal choice. I'm going to kind of go somewhere right in the middle here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to this part here of the fin. And then I'm just going to press it down so it's kind of sticking up just a little, and that's it. Again, you can make yours as high as you want, or you could bring it down as close as you want. It's, again, a personal choice. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing here with the second fin, which is smaller. That one's going to go underneath. And again, you can make it come out as far as you want, or you can make it go as close as you want. Okay, I'm going to again choose kind of somewhere in between. And you can also see that I'm putting it off here towards the side. You're not going to want to put it here or even up here towards where the face will be. You're definitely going to want to put it somewhere here on this curve and before it kind of flattens out, because our box is going to be able to kind of freestand face forward at like this 90-degree angle. And if this fin is sticking down, it won't stand, okay? So you're definitely going to want to kind of put it towards the back and a little bit there, you know, towards the side. All right, so once more, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to drop it onto my table. All right, and then I'm just going to place it kind of like right about there. Okay, so that looks good. And so I've got just a little bit sticking out. I'm going to get this piece of glue here, and that looks great. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start working on assembling the body. All right, so we've got this here glued, and he's ready to you know, kind of glue together here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our two side pieces, and we're actually going to glue them to the back of the black layer of the fish body. We're not going to glue it to this fish body, okay? And you'll see when we get towards the end. All right, so I've got my two side pieces here that are going to go with this top part of the fish body. And you can see my score lines are present. And what we are going to do is we're just going to fold right on those score lines, okay? And you can see that I'm just using my finger and I'm just folding right on those lines. If you want, you can grab your bone folder and you can just press down here also on those score lines there, just to kind of make sure that those folded edges are really crisp. Personal choice. You can just go ahead and use your hands, or like I said, you can use the bone folder there. All right, and so there were some horizontal lines right there, and I folded on those as well. And now we're going to do the same thing for the longer side. Again, I'm just folding right on these score lines and the tabs here. I'm creating these tabs, which we're going to use for gluing. And there's one score line here. I'm just going to fold right on it. And there we go. All right. So now we're ready to start gluing. Okay. So once we're ready to start gluing, what we're going to do is we're going to take our fish body, the black layer of our fish body, and we're going to flip it over. So we're working on the side where we actually glued down the fins, okay? And then what we need to do is grab our smaller piece here, and you can see that what I'm doing is I'm actually folding it so it's going the opposite way. And what I'm doing is I'm creating this fin layer here at the back, okay? And you want to make sure that you are doing that as well. And then we've got these two tabs here towards the end. We're gonna leave those open as we begin our gluing. Okay, so once we have it here, I'm just taking a look at this. Once we have it here, what we are going to do is we are now going to take our glue and we're just going to add glue right here along this curve, okay? So I added a bead of glue right there, and I'm going to grab my side piece here and I'm going to line up. So I'm going to flip it a little bit this way so I can see. I'm going to line up the edge here right along that edge of the paper, okay? And so you'll be able to see it in just a moment. And I'm pressing it here on the inside to make sure that it is drying and it's not shifting at all as I'm trying to hold this and give that glue a chance to bond, okay? So you can see it right there. And so I have it there on the inside and you can see it right there at the edge. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to add glue again now to this other side. And I'm taking my time, that's a good bit of glue there, but I'm going right to where the two fins actually meet. I'm lifting this up, and again, I'm going to just kind of bend the paper as I glue to make sure that this glues down, and I'm holding it on both sides to give the glue a chance to bond, okay? Because we want to make sure that everything is bonding there and it's going to be secure. All right, before we move on to the next part. All right, so you can see it right there. And I'm holding it here and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add more glue along this side here. And once more, I'm just going to press this down, allow it to meet right there at the tab, and I'm holding it down on the inside to make sure that it is bonding, and I'm going to make sure that it's getting right to the corner too. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing for this last part, and again just adding glue right there on the inside, and then folding it in and using my finger to make sure that it is bonding. And I'm also using my finger here on the inside to make sure that it is bonding there as well. Okay, I just had a thought. I think I'm going to add something to the file that I don't have cut just yet. So I'm going to have to pause the video at the end and then add it into the file and then come back and show you guys. All right. Okay. So when you have that there, so I was ready to move on. All right. So when you have that there, you can see how we've created those fins. And if you want, what you can do is just go back and pinch it just to make sure that we're getting those angles like really defined. Okay. Even the center one here, you can kind of pinch it right there and just make sure that it's really defined there. All right. So now we're ready for the longer piece, and you can already tell that what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing and just kind of go all the way around here and gluing that down. So I'm going to add glue now to this tab here. And then I'm also going to add glue along this inside part here. Okay, and I'm going to kind of go all the way towards the edge there, or towards the point. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to hold this here and I'm going to take my side piece and I'm going to hold it here against the tab and just give it a moment to bond and to dry and to adhere. And then I'm going to also hold it here on the inside and I'm going to press these edges down all the way around, and I'm lining it up right along the black here. and I'm bending the paper as I do this. So that way, when I come to that score line here, it's meeting right at the tip. All right. And if you need to, again, just make sure you're holding the paper on the inside and giving it a chance to bond. All right. Okay. And so it's coming together right here at this tip, and you can see that right here at the tip is where I've got my fold, my horizontal fold line or score line there. All right. So once we have that there, now we're ready to do the other side. And you can just go back in there and just press everything down. And I'm going to add glue now to this other side here. And again, you can see I went all the way to the end there. And we're going to do the same thing. Again, just pressing down and working our way around this bottom part now of our fish. And again, making sure that the paper that we're gluing is right at the edge of the fish body, because if you're not going right at the edge and you go a little bit too close onto the inside, what you're going to discover is that you're going to have a lot of extra paper when you come to glue here at the end. All right, so you can see it all right there. I'm going to now add glue to this tab. I'm still holding it down, just giving it a chance to dry. And then I'm just going to press this down here onto the inside to give it a chance to bond there. Okay. And so there we go. And so you can already see, like, it looks really cute. You can see the shape of it. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is, before we start the bottom part of the body, we're going to glue this outer part of his body down. And you can already see, like, how cute he's turning out to be. All right. And you can also see why we did not glue the side piece to this part of the body. So I'm just going to add glue everywhere to this kind of teal piece here, making sure that I'm taking into account what the scales are going to be. And then I'm just going to hold it here at the edges and then just press it down. And you can see it looks super cute. All right, so we've finished our top here, and we're going to now do the same thing here for this bottom part of our box, okay? So you can already tell that this smaller piece is going to go here with the fins, and then the larger piece is going to fill out the body into the head of him. And I'm going to go ahead and just, again, once more, fold along these tabs here. And I'm going to speed up the video as I fold, and then I'll slow it back down for a moment before I start gluing, and then I'll speed it up again as I glue the side pieces down. Okay, so now I'm ready to glue these pieces together here, and I'm going to do the same thing that we did when we were working with the top here. We're just going to work our way around, taking our time as we're gluing and holding and making sure that the glue and the paper are bonding together, and then just kind of gluing everything here. Now, before I go ahead and do this, you want to make sure that you're thinking it through and that you're gluing the side pieces down the correct way. You don't want to glue it this way because then our pieces wouldn't fit together. You want to make sure that you glue it so that way the two pieces would come together here and create a seal. All right, so that's something else just to keep in mind. Basically just glue on the side where the marker is here. All right, so here we go. I'm going to speed up the video again, and we're going to glue these side pieces down. Okay, so here we are. We have put it together and it looks super cool and super, super cute. All right, so now that we have it here, when you've got it completed, I'm just bending that there for a second, you're ready to just put it together. And so all you need to do is just kind of press the smaller one into the inside there. And then there you go. You can see how it fits together and it freestands, all right? But before I end the video, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a little bit of an insert piece here for the bottom and the top. So that way we don't see all of the tabs here. That was something I should have done when I was designing it, and I thought about it when we started. And so I'm just gonna pause the video for a second, go design that really quick, cut it out, and then we'll just assemble it together, all right? It's a super quick finish though, so hang tight. Okay, friends, so I went and I just designed really quick 2 smaller little fish bodies here, and these are going to be the yellow ones in your file, okay? When you go to glue them down, you just want to take one and then figure out, like, is this the one that actually fits in there? And all it's going to do, like you can see, it's not completely hiding all of the tabs there, but it's just kind of meant to cover it up a little and make it look a little neater, okay? So when we go to do that, again, all we're going to do is we're just going to take our glue and we're just going to add it here to the back, making sure that we get the fins. And then we're just going to press it down right there inside. So that way it just kind of hides a little bit of those tabs there. And so it just kind of looks a little cleaner. What you can do is just take your bone folder and then just rub it or add it right inside there to the center, just to make sure that it is adhering and it is sticking. All right, and now we're going to do the same thing here for this piece. And this is the one where I realized, like, it really needed it because it's black and then the actual fish color is a different color. So once more, you can just take it and just kind of place it right inside there. And you can see it's not going to cover up all of it, but it's going to cover up some of it. And that's really what we're going for, is so that it just looks a little cleaner and a little neater inside there, okay? So I just added glue to the back once more. Then all I'm doing is I'm just pressing it down right inside here and just kind of adding it right onto where those tabs are. And once more, you can use your bone folder there and just kind of smooth it to make sure that the glue is adhering. All right, and then, like I said, you could just place it together and there you go. You've got this cute, adorable little fish box that's freestanding. It's perfect for, like, Father's Day if Dad's a fisher, or if you're having like a party and it's an underwater theme, like this would be just a really cute little favor box for guests. And I hope you guys really enjoy this craft. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and have fun crafting. Thanks for watching. Bye.